screw you. You're the ones who are advocating actively for this kind of nonsense that hurts the average Asian, the average Korean who has no voice. You should be ashamed of yourselves. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. There's a Korean spa, King Spa, okay, in New Jersey. A New Jersey judge ruled that King Spa must allow male customers who identify as female into women-only nude areas, surgery or not. The consent order followed a lawsuit from Ali Gobert, who was denied access to the women's nude spa in 2022 after staff confirmed he still had male genitalia. Where are the boba lips talking about this? Oh, they don't care. They don't care. Why don't they care? Because it's about the liberal consensus. It's about being libtards, whatever will advance their careers. Because who controls Hollywood? Who controls the industry? Who does? Just look it up. It's no conspiracy theory. But this happened recently. A few days ago, this judge ruled that this dude, who identified as a girl, was denied access to the nude spa, right? Because if you go to Korean spa, if you know anything about Korean spas, you go in and then you get naked. So that's what it is. It's part of Korean culture. It's part of what we do. Deal with it. If you don't like it, don't go to Korean spas. But in Korean spas, you get butt naked and you shower and then you go to like hot tubs. And then after you go to like the jimjil area, jimjil, and you go into these places and you jimjil해 and then you like sweat out everything. And it's nice. It's great. It's a great place. It ruled that male customers who identify as female must be allowed into nude areas. You know how many Korean Americans this concerns? This concerns the majority, if not all of Korean Americans, except for the libtards. Except the Koreans, or I don't know Koreans, but the Koreans and the Asians who identify as LGBTQ and are LGBTQ activists. I would never do this. I would never do this, okay? But I can literally identify as a woman, go to this spa, and say, hey, you have to let me in. I identify as a woman today. And they have to let me in. And I can literally just go into the nude women's area. You know how insane that is? Do you know how insane that is? And this is why we have to talk about politics. This is why I have to fight against this, because this kind of insanity affects people. And Koreans, for so long in this country, have put their heads down. They're like, whatever, they're just gonna get by. In a lot of regards, actually, that can be good if you're assimilating to a culture that's good. But right now, the predominant, it's changing, of course, because the Overton window is shifting right. But the prominent culture, the cultural hegemony is liberalism. So Koreans just naturally just like, oh, just like, I guess it is what it is. It isn't, it is what it is anymore. We can't do that anymore. It literally affects you. Koreans, wake up. You can't, especially Korean women, you need to hear this. You need to listen up. Especially Korean women. You cannot go to a Korean spa without the potentiality of a dude just walking in butt naked to see you butt naked. People call me misogynist. People call me sexist, whatever. I love women. I do. I genuinely love women. I think a lot of women, especially the liberals, can be really stupid sometimes and very naive, have literally the least amount of survival skills, which again, I think that's fine because it's biological. Men were the ones who were supposed to protect and things like that. But Korean women, listen up. You gotta stop being liberal. I'm sorry. You gotta stop being liberal. You can't. Do you want this? Do you want this? This is not just in New Jersey, by the way. In most liberal states, this is the law of the land, where if a dude identifies as a woman, these businesses are by law required to allow that dude to walk into the women's area. Do you want to live in a society like this? Do you want to live in a country like this? I don't. I want to protect women. I believe in chivalry, despite the faults of feminism and despite the egregiously terrible, just awful dating market right now. I believe that men should protect women at the end of the day. And that is a very important role of men. I don't think autogynephilic, perverted fetish dudes should be able to go into women's spaces and women's locker rooms and the nude area in spas just because they identify as a man. You know how absurd that is? You know how retarded that is? That is absolutely, it is unbelievably retarded that we as a society allowed this. It's dangerous too, but why would we allow this? Why? And of course, again, the reverse doesn't happen as much because the women who identify as men, that's more of a social contagion. And so it's a little different there versus men who identify as women today, largely speaking, are perverts. They're perverts and they have addictions to pornography. And so it's different, but this is why I'm calling this out, because I don't think that male perverts should be allowed in nude women areas, in the women's area in a Korean spa. Male perverts should not be allowed to identify and just like by law have protection under the law to prey on women and young girls. You know, there are children. Think about this, chat. There are literally children, young girls who go to this spa as well. And they now have to be subjected to male perverts preying on them. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is not acceptable. We can't live like this. And women will vote for this overwhelmingly. Korean women will vote for this overwhelmingly. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. Why are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? I'm not talking about the super boba libs who've been captured by the woke ideology and are like literally too far gone. Now, again, as a Christian, I don't believe anyone is too far gone. No one is too far from the grace of God. But I'm talking to normal people, normal Korean Americans, normal Koreans, normal Korean women. Do you want this? I'm talking about Korean brothers. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with the potential of your mom going into a Korean spa and then having to endure a male pervert butt naked preying on your mom? Are you okay with your sister? Are you okay with your wife? Are you okay with your daughters going into women's spaces that should be protected for women only and then being subject to male perverts? Are you okay with this? Korean men, you need to ask yourself, are you okay with this? Because I sure am not okay with this. And again, I try to be chill on these streams. I do. I am a chill person. I'm a very cordial person. People meet me. I am like the class clown. I love to laugh. But this kind of stuff drives me up the wall because it is so stupid. It literally, we are subjecting women and young children to predators and perverts because of what? Seriously, what is the reason why we allow this? We don't want to be offensive? Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? What is the reason why we have to accept this? There is no reason. None. No reason at all. Stop allowing this. This isn't just for Koreans. This is for everyone. Stop voting for this. Stop allowing this. Stop tolerating this. Because the more you tolerate evil, the more that evil proliferates. We clearly see this here. The unthinkable is happening now. These perverts are going in to women's spaces. Koreans, the ones who run this, the ones who run Korean spas, the ones who run Korean businesses. Do you think this is even good for your business either? No, this is not good for your business. My family, who's not very politically inclined, they talked about this with me. And they're like, what the hell is going on? And I told them, hey, this is why politics matters. Incessant. I love my mom. I love my mom to death, right? I've got incessant nagging from my mom about, do you have to talk about politics? It's so contentious. And I'm like, it matters, Mom. And she's like, but I just don't like you getting hurt. And I just don't like people saying mean things about you. And I'm like, I know, but it matters. It matters. And she's like, but why can't you just share the gospel? Why can't you just share Christ? And that's it. And I'm like, I do that, Mom. But the reality is our society is so anti-Christian right now that the truth of God's word applies to so many aspects of society, which we took for granted. But we need to bring back the Christian ethic back into society. And that includes politics. And she's like, okay. And then now she's the one who brought to my attention this story. I didn't even know about it until my mom brought it to my attention. She's the one who was like, 강민아, like, 이게 무슨 일이야? Like, what is going on here? And I'm like, Mom, I told you this matters. And she said, yeah, you're right. This is crazy. We're literally living in stupid land. That's what she said. So people need to wake up, not just Koreans, but everyone. But especially, as a Korean, I hope I can give voice to a lot of the disillusioned Koreans living here in America, but also even in Korea too. because Korea is going down a very dark path right now. But hopefully I can, even if it's in a small way, be the voice so that Koreans, you don't have to be liberal. You don't have to be quote unquote nice and tolerate all of this. You don't. This is insanity. You don't need to tolerate all of this. And like, seriously, screw people like Simu Liu. I'm gonna say like cucks and scumbags like Simu Liu, all these Asians. And again, if you want to have a conversation, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. But like, screw you. You're the ones who are advocating actively for this kind of nonsense that hurts the average Asian, the average Korean who has no voice. Your politicking, your virtue signaling, your activism, your cowardice, your groveling for this kind of nonsense is what subjects young Korean girls and Korean women, Korean 아줌마들, to this predatory behavior. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should literally rethink your whole life. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Let's read the article. New Jersey spa must allow trans-identifying females into women-only nude spaces. A New Jersey spa must allow male customers who identify as the opposite sex to access female-only areas where women are required to be nude, regardless of whether they've undergone a sex change surgery. See, again, you don't even have to actually go through surgery. Literally, I or anyone, any dude can walk into a Korean spa in New Jersey or in California and all these liberal places. You can go in and say, I'm a woman. Where's the women's room? And they have to let you in by law. Insane. In a consent order signed by Superior Court Judge Thomas A. Sarlo, the King Spa in Bergen County agreed to implement policies based on sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. It is unlawful and violates company policy to discriminate in any way against a client because of the client's actual or perceived gender identity. Bullcrap, dude. So gender identity. That's so nebulous. I can identify as a woman and you have to accept that I'm a woman? You know how stupid that is? It's frankly retarded. I don't know why we accepted this as a society. I didn't accept it. I know a lot of you in chat didn't accept it, but the consent order states, according to NJ Media, each person has a gender identity which may or may not correspond to the sex that person was assigned at birth. No, every person does have a gender identity. You're either male or female. It was assigned. It's not assigned at birth. Can we stop with this nonsense? Your sex is not assigned at birth. It's observed at birth. It's observed even when you're in the womb now because of technology. We can tell if you're a girl or if you're a boy. Yes, you have a gender, but if you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl. You can't change it. You can't become something else. According to the order, which was signed in August but has only recently garnered media attention, the company's policy definition of gender identity refers to a person's internal sense of being male, female, or any other gender regardless of physical characteristics or appearance. So if you just feel like this, regardless of reality, you have to accept it and you're protected by law. Alexandra Ali Gobert, a 35-year-old male who identifies as female, filed a discrimination lawsuit after visiting the King Spa in 2022. When Gobert visited the spa's Palisades Park location with a female companion, he received a wristband that granted him access to the men's locker room. After Gobert complained to the staff that he identified as a female, by the way, I like how this article uses the correct pronoun. It's he is a he. Identified as female in the state of New Jersey, recognized him as a woman. A staff member granted him access to the women's area. According to King Spa's website, customers must be nude to use the baths, which again is what Korean spas are all like, noting that the facility offers distinct women and men sections. The spa offers customers the opportunity to experience Korean sauna culture, which requires nudity in certain areas. Upon entering the women's locker room, a locker room attendant noticed Gobert and called the manager, who asked the trans-identifying male if he had undergone a sex change surgery. The manager, Yoon Park, asked Gobert if he still had boy parts, according to Redux, and he replied by saying he was a woman, that having male genitalia didn't necessarily mean he was a man. When the manager continued to press Gobert, however, the man admitted that he had not undergone any surgical interventions to remove his male body parts. Park told him to use the men's spa, and when Gobert claimed that he would make him uncomfortable, the manager agreed to let him use the women's spa if he wore a bathing suit. Gobert refused to wear a bathing suit, and the spa refunded his admission fee and asked him to leave. The trans-identifying male later filed a lawsuit against the spa, alleging that the facility had discriminated against him. Attorneys for the spa argued in court filings that the spa staff recognized Gobert as a recurring male customer who had previously used the men's side of the spa. See? He is a dude who's been using Korean spas as a dude. Why do you think suddenly He wants to use the women's room. Why do you think suddenly he identifies as a woman and wants to go use the woman's nude area? Go to the woman's nude area. He had an epiphany that suddenly he's a woman after being a man for so long? No! He's a pervert! They indicated that the individual could certainly use the facilities, but not in the female nude area. This individual was not denied access to the use of the facility, the attorney argued. He was only denied access to go into the nude female area when this individual by admission had male genitalia. I was seeking policy changes. That's what I wanted. And that's always what they want, right? It's not always about the money. Like, they want to change society to fit them and fit their delusions. At the time of reporting, the spa's website said you may use a locker room that matches the gender identity on your government or state-issued photo ID. The New Jersey based spa is not the only facility to face a lawsuit over its sex-segregated spaces. By the way, this is so easy to do. Like, I can literally go and ask the DMV to be like, hey, I'm shooting a woman now. Can you change the sex to woman, the gender to woman? And they'll do it. Literally, by nature of being like, hey, I identify as a woman. You gotta let me in. In February 2020, trans activist Haven filed a complaint with the Washington State Human Rights Commission after the Olympus Spa in Seattle denied his membership application. The spa denied Wilvich's application on the basis that he had not undergone any surgical interventions to remove his male genitalia, which was still intact. Here's the thing. Even if you cut off your dick, you're still a dude, okay? You're still a dude. The same way cutting off your fingers doesn't make you any less human because humans all have, 10 fingers. Like, all dudes have a penis. And by cutting it off, it doesn't make you a woman, okay? You're still a dude. You're just a eunuch, maybe? What? Were eunuchs in the past women? Were they a trans woman suddenly? Because you cut off their balls? No! So if you cut off your male genitalia, it doesn't make you a woman. You're still a dude. You're still a dude. Family-owned spa modeled after sex-segregated bathhouses in Korea accepted male trans-identifying patrons who had undergone a sex change operation. See, this is why we don't give them an inch. You give them an inch, they take a mile. They're like, okay, let's be tolerant. We'll accept as long as you go through the surgery, you can go to whichever gender. You can go to whichever gender section that you identify with. Well, they never stop with that. Same thing with gay marriage. Oh, we just want the ability to get married. We don't want to have children. We're not going to adopt. We're going to come for the children. We're not going to try to make homophobia illegal and things like that. All lies. All lies. Now what are they doing? They're literally buying babies en masse. The gays are buying babies en masse. And they're grooming them. You got to stand firm and say no. Just no. Sorry, you're a dude. You go to the dude's room or else you get out. I don't care how you identify. I don't care if you chopped off your wee-wee. You're a dude. You go to the dude's room. What is the Washington State Human Rights Commission claimed that the policy focuses on the genitals of patrons rather than gender identity. And this is the gaslighting they always do, right? So annoying. Why do you care so much about their genitalia? Why are you such a pervert? Why do you care so much about their... Dude, one of the defining features, physically, the difference between men and women are the genitalia. Women have boobs, men don't have boobs. Guys have a penis, women don't have penises, all right? Like, it's not focusing on the genitals of patrons, it's just reality. Everyone knows this, everyone knew this. The LGBTQ, the moment you guys started to focus on this gender nonsense, this is when we had to say, hey, no, like, we're not gonna affirm your delusions, and then you gaslight, say, why do you care so much about the genitalia, huh? Dude, you're the one chopping off your dick, all right? You're the one chopping off your breasts. You're the one grafting fake penises onto you. Like, what do you mean? We are obsessed with that. We are too focused on that. This kind of gaslighting is so sickening and so stupid. And this is what they always do. Gaslighting, deflection, straw man. It's always projection. So true, chat. It's always projection. It's always projection. And while the spa attempted to sue the Washington State Human Rights Commission in 2023, the U.S. District Judge Barbara Jacobs Rothstein. Barbara Jacobs Rothstein. Wow, what kind of last name is that? Don't look that up. And of course, it's the woman. Upheld the commission's order for the Olympus Spa to admit men who identify as women, even if they still have male body parts. Dude, these judges all have to go. I'm sorry, all of these judges in these liberal cities all have to go. They're the ones releasing violent criminals. They're the ones allowing this kind of garbage nonsense, protecting perverts. They gotta go. They gotta go. No, we don't have to live like this, chat. Like we don't have to live like this. We gotta ban the courts. We gotta get rid of these judges. I'm sorry. Like again, like the judges were supposed to be like checks and balances, right? They literally prohibit, because they're there for like life, right? Like they prohibit any conservatives from living a normal life. They hold countries and people hostage. They do. Just releasing violent criminals into the streets constantly that stab people and shoot people and beat people up, allowing perverts into women's spaces. Why do we allow this? Why do we allow this? We don't have to allow this. It makes no sense. It literally makes zero sense, no sense. We don't have to tolerate this. It is unthinkable. There's no reason why we need to do this. There's no reason why we need to be okay with it.